showing you who that nation is out full force, whether they're in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all the way over here. That's for sure. They are here and ready. They've been waiting a long time. Well, Drew Brees has long understood that football is more than just a game, and sports can do more than merely entertain. In New Orleans, Brees is delivering hope to his city, staging a revival after Hurricane Katrina. He's done it with his embracing the city immediately upon his arrival, and, of course, he's done it with passing the football. But of all the folks Brees has touched over the last 4 seasons, there's one boy who touched him in a way he never expected. Brees will carry this with him into Super Bowl 44. Rachel Nichols has a story.
As the final seconds come off the clock here in the Superdome, and the road to the Super Bowl continues to be through New Orleans.
It was a simple moment, barely noticed by the more than 70,000 fans who'd already started celebrating the Saints' playoff win over the Cardinals. But to the man who was taking a knee, it meant much more than just a way to run out the clock. And to a boy in a hospital bed 5 miles away, it would come to mean everything. Drew Brees met Micah Roshell in the summer of 2007 when Micah was 9 years old and newly diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Our foundation, the Brees Dream Foundation, we do a fishing trip every year here in South Louisiana, and that was my first time meeting Micah.
You meet a lot of kids at hospitals and charity events. What was it about him that you connected with him?
I think Micah's outlook, just how positive he was, and just, inspiring. Mike was just one of those kids who had a lot of fight.
Over the next 6 months, tumors spread through Micah's body. And in December of 2007, doctors gave his mother, Valida, terrifying news.
They then told me that he had 2 weeks to live. They told me they would do their best and do whatever's needed, and we could go home on hospice. He was I guess you would say, 1 foot in the grave and 1 out.
I can't imagine that because, as a kid, I mean, you feel like you haven't even had a chance at life yet, I mean, come on, it's not fair.
Brees and his wife, Brittany, decided they'd visit the boy they'd fallen in love with on the fishing trip.
As sick as he was, he set up for Drew Brees. So they had a ball.
I ended up sitting in his room for a couple hours and just talking and playing Nintendo Wii, in which he beat me thoroughly. I got drummed.
Oh, he was great. I mean, he's such a sweet kid, but he killed Drew in every game. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Drew spent nearly 3 hours in Micah's room. Before he left, he drew a parallel between the battles he fights on the football field and Micah's own battle with cancer.
I said, just like throughout the course of a game, there's always that adversity that you're going to face, but you always have to just kind of stay even keel and poised and confident and just know that, if you just continue to fight, that good things are going to happen.
It was really helpful for him because he had someone to come in and say to him, you have to fight, you have to shoot for the victory.
Micah kept fighting, and much to the surprise of his doctors, by June of 2008, he'd regained enough strength to undergo a bone marrow transplant. The procedure helped him significantly, and as Micah continued to receive treatment, Drew and Brittany stayed in touch. In November, they invited Micah and Valida to the premiere of the movie The Blind Side.
I thought, what a great way to get Micah away from, obviously, all the treatments and get his mind off that and just go and do something fun. And he just had an unbelievable time. Got to meet Sandra Bullock. It was special.
So you were up here in his estimation before the movie premiere, and then he meets Sandra Bullock. What happened here?
She takes the cake, I'm sure. But at least I can say I introduced him.
Now 12 years old, Micah is still constantly fighting off new tumors. So last month, his doctors decided to try a second bone marrow transplant. The procedure could cure his cancer, but it also comes with big risks. If the new marrow doesn't take, Micah could end up in intensive care on a ventilator, or worse.
I couldn't imagine somebody telling me that, you know, in a day or two, you know, you're going to have a surgery and, you know, you might not make it out okay. Just to think that the chances, you know, there are those chances, you know.
Micah went back into the hospital to start the grueling preparation required for the procedure. But one Saturday afternoon, a brief respite, the Saints beat the Cardinals. And at the end of the game, Micah watched his friend Drew take a knee. Then,
Micah,
a few days later, another visit.
you have some company just for a few minutes, okay?
What's up, Micah? What you doing, bud? All right, I brought something for you. This is an official game ball from our playoff game just from 2 days ago when we beat the Arizona Cardinals. It's one I took a knee with at the end of the game, and I immediately thought of you. I wanted to make sure that you got this football. There you go. To Micah, the strongest person I know. From me. Saints 45, Cardinals 14, January 16, 2010. So you'll always remember that game, all right, bud? Because you were what made us win. You know that, right? We felt your strength.
Micah also had a gift for Drew.
Oh, buddy, this is great. This is wonderful. This is going in my locker, all right? All right, buddy. You take care of yourself, all right? Be strong. Stay strong.
Brees put Micah's photo up in his locker. And just before the Saints played the Vikings, Micah underwent his second bone marrow transplant, holding a special souvenir.
Oh, my God, the game ball. Micah has been sleeping with the ball like he's holding a baby. During the actual transplant, the ball was in the bed with Micah.
You got your new bone marrow? Yes.
When you talk about just the way that I approach every day, knowing that, you know, there's a kid that's fighting the fight that he's fighting each and every day. I mean, it inspires you.
He's the one, you know, in bed rooting for Drew, and you think of that. You know, you think about, okay, there's so many people that look at this game, and it's more than football. It's about living, you know.
Sometimes the simple moments aren't so simple. Not to a young boy fighting for his life in New Orleans, or to a quarterback now playing in the Super Bowl in Miami. Miles apart, but still close.
When you walk out on that Super Bowl field, how much is Micah going to be in your mind?
We want to win for this city. We want to win for so many people, but there's nobody that I would rather win for than Micah Roshell.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Micah and his mom will watch the Super Bowl in his room at Children's Hospital in New Orleans. Doctors say Micah had a short bout with pneumonia post-surgery and is now showing signs of recovery. His white blood cell counts are going up, and if it continues to progress, Micah's doctors say it will not be long before he's allowed to go home. Now, Brees has told Micah when he's out of the hospital, he looks forward to tossing the football around together, and you know he's going to be good on that.
Alrighty. Hi, I'm Roshell, Micah Roshell's mother. And the reason I'm speaking to you on today is because you have given my son life. What I mean by that, Micah is a Hodgkin's lymphoma patient who is trying to go up for his cure. We've had our first transplant, didn't take. Second transplant, we're working on it. But you know, he might have to have the third, and that's okay. Because I know that the blood center is going to be there for us. First of all, to the people who are donating blood and platelets, thank you. And to the blood center, those of you who are collecting and handling this, thank you. Because without all of you, Micah and other patients wouldn't be able to be here today. So to you, thank you so much for giving us life.